Welcome everybody to the council meeting of May 6, 2024. Thank you, Councillor Donaldson, for doing the territorial acknowledgement earlier this evening. We have a fairly light agenda before you. With that, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda. Moved by Councillor Gray, seconded by Councillor Shukin. Comments? All in favor? Passed unanimously. Public participation for those 4 people left in the room. Does anybody wish to speak at the microphone? If so, identify yourself and your road. Thank you.
Okay. Hoping I haven't worn out my welcome around here. Kim Hill, 1070 Brookview Drive. By the way, I'm wearing this scarf tonight. This is, it's a symbol. We've got some fish scales on the side. Here we go. Some bubbles on the other. Just to remind you guys, and to reiterate my stubborn intent about keeping the health of Bilston Creek top of mind. I got a feeling there's not too much doubt about that. Anyways, after I was here last, I'm picking up on a subject hoping it is not grown thin on you, but because it's grown old with me. It's namely about the management of the water that's coming from Centre Mountain, like that big radical development that's happening up there. What's happening with that water and how it's going to be treated when it comes to Minchosen. There's been let's say a room for improvement about the communication about that situation to the residents. And Mayor Little, thank you very much. The mayor and I had a good meeting Wednesday last week, and we discussed this, and we both came to agreement about that matter, that there is room for improvement. Now, we discussed some practical ways that this might come about, and perhaps the mayor will be reporting about that later in this meeting. I can't stay around. I've got work on my bench that's waiting for me to attend to. I'll be watching you on the webcam though. But you know, whether or not there's any positive feedback about the initiative that we discussed on Wednesday last week, whether or not I really appreciate hearing back about this before Wednesday. Alison and Leduc and I, we've got a meeting with Langford Engineering. The head honcho is up there on Wednesday. It would be nice to be able to present something constructive to them at that time. Because, you know, this has been an elephant in the room for so long. It's beginning to stink up the neighborhood, you know. Anyways, trying to be optimistic about this, keeping a happy face on it. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm devoted. This is proof. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to speak at public participation? Okay, so let's move on to page 3 of the agenda. This is the adoption of the minutes from April 22nd, 2024. Move adoption by Councillor Donaldson, seconded by Councillor Epp. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. And we've got the minutes from receipt of the minutes for the Capital West Accessible Advisory Committee meeting, November 22nd.
Move receipt.
Moved by Councillor Donaldson, seconded by Councillor Gray. Comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. So that's the receipt of the minutes. I didn't have a mayor's report, a full written report last time. Reports for action on page 15 of your council agenda. So we have, we're looking for a motion for council to approve the consolidated financial statements of the District of Metchosin. Councillor Donaldson.
Move that council approve the audited consolidated financial statements year ended December 31st, 2023.
This is moved by Councillor Donaldson, seconded by Councillor Shukin. Discussion.
Thanks very much. I take some comfort in the words from Ms. Lee, and should, like what she said earlier about us having confidence in the financial practices of the district. And as I think we all know, Ms. Lee is, or she confirmed my assessment of what she had said. And Ms. Lee's been doing this audit for a number of years now, so I'm very happy to, go with Councillor Donaldson and move adoption. So.
Okay, Councillor Gray.
I might just offer, she said that the statements are accurate.
Yeah, fair enough.
And didn't talk so much about the practices, because I think she was reflecting on it's our responsibility to decide how big the reserves are, and our responsibility to decide our budget. But I'm in favor of the motion.
Anybody else wish to speak to this motion? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. And reports for information. On page 55 of your council agenda, we have the Capital West Accessibility Advisory Committee Public Engagement Results and Summary. Ms. Hanson, who sits on the committee, is not able to be with us this evening, but she provided some notes here. Would you like me to go through them, or would you? Okay, I'll go through them. Thank you. The committee, the Capital West Accessibility Committee, is moving forward with the accessibility plan, which will have a focus on two aspects required by the Accessible BC Act: employment and service delivery. The committee held two public surveys. Survey 1 focused on types of accessibility engagement. You've got that in your report. And Survey 2, which is accessibility in you. Results will form the basis of questions to explore during the public engagement process. An RFP to hire a consultant for public engagement will be issued in the coming weeks, and the survey results have been placed on the accessibility page of the district website as well. You remember the guidance from, or the mandate from the province was that we have two things: an accessibility plan and a portal. And the portal, I think it's called Accessibility Metchosin. I guess I should get that right. I think it's accessible. Does anybody know what it is? It's Accessibility Metchosin at metchosin.ca. For any comments of people wanting accessibility issues addressed within the accessibility plan. Okay. Does anybody have any questions regarding the staff report or the survey results or anything? Go ahead, Councillor Donaldson.
I don't have any questions. I really enjoyed reading and comparing with the other communities.
The responses, you mean?
The responses to the survey.
Yeah.
And some of these actually fit in already with some of the plans that are ongoing, you know, like roadside trails. Except they did say about paving trails, so I don't think we'll be doing that anytime soon. However, access to the farmers market was on here, and gravel areas changed to smaller aggregate. Just to make a note there, that's exactly what the farmers market has just done. After a conversation I had last year with their president, I said, you know, this would be great if it was a little bit more accessible. next thing you know, the tobaccos and everything happening, and they changed out their aggregates. So those sorts of things, and then you know, lighting on the building and ramps, we already identified we need to do that. So it's good to see that it's affirmed, and that, you know, accessible parking, we need to get those painted lines done, and that. So it's good to see it in print, and then compare it with, like I say, our urban neighbors who have sidewalks and that. So it's different here in the Chosen, but we certainly can adapt. You know, visibility, even speaking with the staff, things that they're talking about, just in the buildings themselves and the website, that sort of thing. You know, what do you call it, closed captioning, and that is something that we can do as well. So yeah, lots of brainstorming to be had. So this is good to see these results for sure.
Okay, Councillor Gray.
I wondered, is there a process for us to follow up then on these comments and concerns of the public, or is this something we put in our binder? What happens next with it?
What happens next is, so this is in the ballpark of the Capital West Accessibility Advisory Committee. So just as a reminder, that committee is made up of corporate officers, assistant corporate officers from each district or town, and so it's in their court, and they will feed it out to the specific municipalities for action. Some of them are not within our purview, like the community hall, for instance, is not within the district of Chosen council purview, but is identified as one of the areas that should be improved for accessibility. So the next step is it's still within the committee's hands. They're going to have a consultant do an accessibility plan for the core areas, and then I suspect what's going to happen is they're going to have one accessibility plan focused on those two areas of employment and service delivery, and then the district of Chosen will be responsible for the one that is indicative or selected for Chosen.
Great, thank you. So we've been given this down. Someone else is going to refine it and give it to us in a different format, so we can follow up on different ideas.
I think so.
And then you referenced the Chosen Community Hall. So you were saying it's not accessible. I think the question was, please indicate which venues or type of venues are most accessible for in-person engagement. And then you have the list of Chosen Community Halls on that list. Thank you. Hit a nerve there, Mayor Whittle.
Got your attention.
Councillor, yeah.
I really enjoyed reading it too. I thought it was give us a good basis to go on when we start making improvements around the district buildings and so on. But I think was interesting that almost every municipality in this whole committee, people complain about the websites.
Yeah, from
engagement.
From soup to be royal.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Councillor Sugar.
And just one observation that I found intriguing is question 4, page 63. The question was, in which of the partner municipalities do you live in? It just shows the relatively high level of engagement from the Chosen residents. So 77 Langford residents were identified, but after that it's Chosen in terms of respondents. So 28. And then it goes down from there, so obviously some interest in the community.
Okay. Could reflect our older population as well.
Exactly. Yeah, good point.
Okay. Anything else on this? This is just to receive for information.
Move receipt.
Moved by Councillor Epp, seconded by Councillor Donaldson. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And then we have correspondence on page 75 for information. This is only one letter for correspondence. On page 75 is a letter from Minister Farnworth from the province of BC regarding the City of Surrey transitioning from the RCMP to its own police force. And this, of course, is a matter that is before the courts as we speak. Anybody have any comments?
Interesting letter.
Yep, it's an interesting letter. Okay, move receipt. Councillor Epp and Councillor Schuken second. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. and bylaws. We have the bylaws, the financial plan 2024 to 2028 bylaw number 7700, and the tax rate 2024 bylaw number 701. Councillor Donaldson, did you want to move the recommendation as finance chair?
Yes, I move that the council adopt the financial plan for 2024-2028 bylaw number 700. And you want to do them at the same time?
No, but we'll do them separate.
Okay. So.
Moved by Councillor Donaldson, seconded by Councillor Epp. Comments? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Carry on.
And that council adopt tax rate 2024 bylaw number 701.
Moved by Councillor Donaldson, seconded by Councillor Epp. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. And thank you to staff for that. All of the work that they did on the financial plan and collaborating with the audit. Okay, and then we don't have any more business. We have time for questions. If the three people in the room would like to ask questions.
So my question is, how do I get in touch with somebody at TELUS to complain about the lack of cell service in my area? Because you've been able to, but how can I?
Actually, we had some comments last week about this, and I meant to reach out to Councillor Epp. I think Councillor Epp and I should have another meeting with TELUS and Rogers. Go ahead, Councillor Epp.
I haven't been in touch not with TELUS but with Rogers because I managed to corral the fellow that actually is now kind of in charge of that at the ABICC meeting. And when I called him last week, he said that he would have a report for me this coming week, hopefully, if I don't get it. So I don't know what the report's going to say, but I explained the last situation and how I'd been trying for quite a while to get a hold of the Rogers rep unsuccessfully. And so he is the new one, and he seemed to be, he doesn't get back to me at least, so I'm hoping that he'll have at least some news for us by the Public Works Committee meeting on Monday, hopefully.
And perhaps if he doesn't have any useful news for us, you can badger him to get, so that the residents can complain en masse. The situation that triggered this for me is that it's becoming more and more common, and it happened recently with a form that I filled out online. I think it was for my COVID vaccination, where they asked for a phone number where they could text me. Well, of course, they can't text me because I don't have cell service. But I couldn't complete the form without giving them a phone number. And this kind of thing is becoming more and more common. Organizations, people assume that you have cell service. A bunch of us in the chosen, surrounded by cell service all the way up to Port Renfrew, don't. And I would hope maybe you can present this to Rogers, that Rogers and TELUS should be embarrassed, greatly embarrassed that this is the situation.
I did bring that up. We had 3 roaming charges last month.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Patty. White House of Rocky Point Road. So that's a good reminder for us to reach back out to TELUS as well to see where they are with their promises that they made to us last year. Good point.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak this evening? Okay, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Donaldson, seconded by Councillor Shukin. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, everybody.